History lesson. August 2017 healthcare bill proposed. Declared dead by the media after 3 senators said no. And a day or so later, McCain is flying in, and the media and the left panic because they thought it was dead all along. Fast forward September the 26th, 2017. About a month later, once again, a shock healthcare bill. 3 senators say no, and today the media declares it dead. My point? Remember just Friday of last week? The commentary at that time was that the push was because September the 30th. After that, changing the health care will take a filibuster-proof majority, and Democrats will not be interested in a new law. They want to fix the ACA. They already took their lumps in the last election of 2010. Why would they want to help us now? Until Friday the 29th, it only needs 50 senators and Vice President Pence. If the goal is to fulfill the campaign promise of Republican senators and representatives, that is. Understand, this is not a priority of Trump, who is not a Republican. He has no ideology. That's why Lindsey Graham made it clear. This or one-payer system. Until Friday, what happened in August can happen again. I have no opinion on this bill. This is just pointing out, until Trump's tactics stop getting the results he wants, he will keep doing them. This is not a passionate plea. I'm only pointing out nothing has fundamentally changed. September 30th is still a deadline. That leaves 2 days. Since that is on a Saturday, anything can happen. Thursday and Friday. Media reports facts, and they have, usually, but sometimes they forget the original aim, claiming victory, but miss the fact it could just be theater, and they, by accident, get the public to calm down while nothing has changed at all. My goal is a sane America, not a left or right feel-good placebo. Feel free to buy into the current theme. I'm not holding out hope the bill will pass, only reminding everyone the deadline is still there, so the danger isn't past. And just a bit of wisdom, I've said it before, but the media misled us with its commentary in 2016 that Trump couldn't win. Many thought that, and today many are angry, but instead of blaming themselves for not voting or media for ignoring reality, they want excuses. I'd rather have reality. I hope I'm not alone, but I despair. After the last 5 years of hiding our heads in the sand, focusing on window dressing instead of what matters, actual actions, what's actually ending up being done, and what is possibly going to happen. So take this as what it's meant, which is basically a warning that in the next few days, don't be surprised if Washington goes nuts again and the media ends up playing into it. I may end up with egg on my face. If so, I'll live with it. However, I would feel much worse if I stayed silent and watched America self-destruct again like it did in August. So, take it for what it's worth. Here's what worries me. Donald Trump has already made his statement about what he thinks needs to be done. And if September 30th passes and healthcare is not dealt with in the way Republicans want, 2 things are going to happen. One, Donald Trump will be dealing with Democrats to get at least 9 votes or 10 votes, or he will be dealing with Republicans and basically telling them, you need to get rid of the filibuster rule now because you couldn't get the job done in the time frame you were given. I don't think it is a good idea to get rid of this filibuster rule. It has already been weakened enough as it is. What makes this country better than other countries is the minority party can actually have an effect on what happens during this conversation about what is to be done on major issues. They can't be ignored. If this filibuster rule is removed completely, then for 4 years, the minority can only sit there and whine and complain and grow in frustration. That is deadly to this country. That is my concern, and I wish more people were keeping their eye on the ball because Donald Trump is a CEO. What he cares about is getting things done. And right now, the filibuster rule is not helping him. He's not paying attention to the future because that's not what he's supposed to pay attention to. He's paying attention to the bottom line. Republicans, so far, have stood up and said no, or at least they haven't overreacted yet. However, consider this. After September the 30th, Donald Trump brings in, once again, Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer and starts talking about dealing. What will happen with the Republicans when they panic? Will they act the way Donald Trump hopes they will and take away the filibuster like they did during the confirmation hearing for the Supreme Court justice? Do you want to trust that this won't happen? That's what I point. I don't believe Trump is any more nefarious or evil than Barack Obama was evil for the last 8 years that he was in office. They're handling things with the worldview and the background that they have, their personal experiences and their business and life experiences are making them make the decisions that they're making. The problem is both of them have mostly a background in areas other than politics. See, Obama was a councilman most of his life. He did become a senator for a year, but that was a short-term thing. It wasn't enough time to temper his worldview enough to think long-term. And Donald Trump is a CEO. Both of them deal with problems on a daily basis in those spheres that they had the most experience in. The problem is, as President of the United States, you also need to understand that this country, if you make one mistake, it could negatively have impacts well into the future. Just like he is now talking about getting rid of the filibuster. That is a fundamental danger to the Constitution and to the United States. I believe that with all of my heart because of the fact that this country has to protect those in the minority and not in race, sex, religion. No, I'm talking about those that have different worldviews, different feelings about right and wrong. They have to have a voice if this country is to stay strong and represent the promise that it has always given.